Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Sorry, I'm stretching. Hope you're all doing well. It's not my fault I had to stretch. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Where do I begin? The rapid rise of institutions within this space has been like palpable. You can feel it. It's in the air. We see the dramatic difference from whence we came a number of years ago within the cryptocurrency space by how much money, and I mean like money, not like a little bit of money. I mean it's like real big money that's been flowing into the space just over the course of the last couple of weeks. I always make sure to keep the time frame there. It's been 2.5 months since all of this really started. A lot of people I feel like are pretending that ETFs have Bitcoin spot ETFs have been around for years or something like that. You know, that BlackRock has been here for 15 years now, when it's literally only been, once again, 2.5 months. The accumulation patterns by these companies is quite staggering. And I'm actually quite happy that a lot of people are finally paying attention to the numbers. It was very exhausting, I can say personally, going through the news daily. And I know that while many of you might have paid attention, but to see that we continuously get this like egregious amount of news by how much Bitcoin these companies are buying all the time, how much Bitcoin is lost, and like to even see prices go down on those days and in the long ago, it's frustrating. So this news is even crazier because BlackRock keeps breaking records and it's not really registering with people. So I said this years ago as a joke, but it's not really a joke anymore. A lot of the news that ends up being popular tends to be very nonsensical things. We will have days where Elon Musk or Jack Dorsey, this isn't a joke, where they're literally wearing t-shirts and it says like Dogecoin or Bitcoin on it, and that ends up being the most popular news story of the day. We have news, I remember years ago where like, I think it was NASCAR, where they had like Bitcoin and Dogecoin stickers. Those were the most popular news stories, and it's like, yay, that's absolutely amazing. But whenever we pass by any crazy milestone, like Bitcoin being valued more than silver, like literal all of the silver on the planet, barely makes it into the news. I had to like dig around, and I was like, oh, why was no one talking about this? This one's relatively similar, and I don't know if it's because we've entered into a people are just used to hearing these numbers, but it should mean a lot to you because it means that the world is changing, has changed, and probably will never be the same again. If you get a chance at any point in your day, in your life, to really like reflect on everything that's happening and push as far as you can mentally into the future. One of my things that I do for myself is I constantly set myself 5-year goals, in that I give my, every 5 years what I want to accomplish. And at the end of the 5 years, I better have accomplished it. And I also give myself 10-year goals, but they tend to be like a mixture of 5 and a 5, if you will, if that kind of makes any sense. So I always tell people, I tell my friends, a lot of times I have friends who are going through difficult situations in their lives, or they're not saving, or I've had friends, I told you all before, who tell me, like, oh gosh, I wish I could go on vacation. I would love to go to the Bahamas. And I tell them, and they usually think I'm being a jerk. I always tell them, do it. And they look at me and they go, you're so rude. Why would you? And I'm like, do it. Go on a vacation right now. And they go, I don't have the money to. And I go, why don't you have the money? Because I don't have any money in my bank account. And I go, okay, stop. Keep that feeling. What you're feeling right now, do you want to feel the exact same way in 5 years? And the answer is always no. Nobody wants to feel terrible 5 years from now. So I always tell them, change it. Do something right now to make sure that in 5 years, when you sit there angry one day and you go, I want to go on vacation, you can do it. I've told a lot of my friends, I said, I mean, this is a lot of personal stuff, but I told my friends who were looking for jobs and stuff, I said, find something online. Make sure that your life is flexible. Make sure that when you want to get up and go, you can literally just pack your computer, book a cheap flight to go somewhere and go there for a couple of days. It's not that it's not that difficult, but you have to make the changes to be able to want to do it. We're getting off track, bringing it on back. It basically has to do with the idea of time. A lot of people in this space, I notice, you hear the news, you get the news, you see the accumulation levels. I say 2.5 months, and then I tell you, think about where this market is going to be in 5 years. You see how insane everything is right now. Look at how far we've come from 2019. Look how much more the market has developed. Look, we have multi-trillion-dollar market caps. Like, look at all the stuff that's flowing into the space, how crazy, how much more structured it is, how much money is flowing into it. Think of where the market is going to be in 5 years, how much more money there's going to be, how much more Bitcoin's going to be worth. This is the point that I'm usually always trying to make. There was nothing in my mind, nothing, that would have told me that a company was going to be getting into the cryptocurrency space, BlackRock, and that they would ever, backing it up, that they would quickly, in a 10-week period, be able to actually overtake cryptocurrency exchanges. We got news for those of you who are not looking at the screen. BlackRock's accumulation of Bitcoin through their ETF has gone so quick, moved so fast, that they actually have more Bitcoin than the crypto exchanges OKX and Kraken. The point to be made there is, you know how long OKX and Kraken have been around? You know how much money they actually have that they've also been accumulating not only for within their coffers, but also for themselves as a company. It's the same exact thing that we heard. It took BlackRock, 6 or 7 weeks to have more Bitcoin than MicroStrategy. And it took MicroStrategy 2 years to be able to accumulate that much Bitcoin. Even more so, this also deals with MicroStrategy as well, because the amount of Bitcoin that BlackRock alone has in 10 weeks is you'll see. BlackRock apparently right now has 243,130 Bitcoin, surpassing the holdings of crypto players and even MicroStrategy's extensive Bitcoin portfolio. The move reflects the increasing demand among institutional investors for crypto exposure. For those of you who missed it, MicroStrategy 4 times this year announced that they would be buying more Bitcoin. It's usually every couple of months. Nope, it was 4 times over the course of like a 5, 6, 7 week period. They bought so much Bitcoin that they actually got up to, I think it was 214,000. And I mean, they were raising 400, 500, 600, 700, 800 million dollars in one go to buy more Bitcoin. And no matter what they've done, they haven't been able to keep up with BlackRock. In 10 weeks, BlackRock's ETF now has 243,130 Bitcoin. For those of you who don't know, there are 52 weeks in a year. If we take that 10 and give it a little 4, 10 times 4, 40 weeks. That would mean if BlackRock keeps up with this amount of accumulation, in another 30 weeks, they will have over 1 million Bitcoin, just BlackRock alone. The conversation that we had before was very different. The conversation we had was that BlackRock and Fidelity would have over 1 million Bitcoin. When we talk about the actual supply crunch and how crazy that a lot of this is getting, I consistently want everyone to really understand what's going on, because this cycle is going to be inherently completely different. We're no longer talking about a world that's 243,000 Bitcoin that could or would otherwise be on the market. And as you know, broken record time, at the time of me making this video, we still have not gotten to the halving. I'm going to refrain from saying any more because it'll just cause me to rant, but I hope you get it. Hope you really understand, because this is another level. I mean, even now, we should easily be over $100,000 per Bitcoin. And I mean easily. These levels of this is one company. We're moving up in like little increments as we hear this crazy news, and I just want you to understand exactly where we're going in price. So yeah, BlackRock now has more crypto than two of the largest crypto exchanges. They've far surpassed MicroStrategy, and I can't wait to see what happens. Wait, let's see. April, May, by the middle of June, they should have over 500,000 Bitcoin. That's the BlackRock news. Yeah. Let's move on. In news that matters, this was also news that was floating around, and I was like, okay. So it looks like we're back to like mid 2020, maybe early 2021. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says popular American rapper. His name is French Montana. I laughed earlier when I read that because it says American French, and I don't know why I found that funny. Has apparently announced that he is going to be putting one of his songs onto the Bitcoin network. The song is called Bag Curious. No part of me can begin to understand what that song might be. Like, I literally bag Curious. And this made news because he made it into an NFT. But on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin Special, it's not called an NFT, it's called an ordinal. And it's a Bitcoin inscription. It has the tag 643333690 and apparently is 3.95 megabytes. Apparently the third largest ever, I guess. I don't know. Cool. So when I said 2020 and early 2021, there were a lot of other people who were announcing that they were going to be bringing songs to the Ethereum blockchain, which is also still a very big thing. There have been a number of artists and musicians who've actually like created entire albums, and I mean like popular people, not like random, run of the mill. Like, these are well-known people who actually have their entire albums on Ether as NFTs, and they're like in very limited quantities and stuff like that as well. So fantastic. That's the French Montana, which isn't French at all. It's actually American. I don't know why I found that funny. Bitcoin inscription NFT called Bag Curious on the Bitcoin network. The significance is this song will now last forever. Like, literally, as you know, it is inscribed, it is written on the walls of the network. And in 1,000 years, this song will still be there. So I guess that's the significance. Okay. All right. Let's move on. So recently, the head of Grayscale, his name is Michael Sonnenschein, announced that he gets it. And I quote, he said, "I'll happily confirm that over time, as the market matures, the fees on the GBTC will come down," end quote. You might have noticed the last couple of videos, I've had a bit of a annoyance with a larger part of the cryptocurrency news. Because while inflows, money going into the Bitcoin spot ETFs have been absolutely fantastic, the money flowing out has nearly been exclusively from Grayscale. The problem is that Grayscale has Bitcoin. Surprise! The same as BlackRock, the same as Fidelity. But the issue is that Grayscale has a very high fee. So while they also have an ETF, same as the other companies, keeping in mind, have a fee more than most of the time of anywhere from 0.25% to zero, a literal zero. Is zero a number? That's for a mathematician to decide. Zero. Grayscale, for some reason, has a fee of 1.5%. If you hadn't noticed, 1.5 is higher than zero. So a lot of people have been selling off their Bitcoin from the Grayscale fund because their fees are too high. And instead of lowering their fees and stopping these coins from hitting the market, which keeps causing us to go down in price, they're not lowering it at all. And he says, I'll happily confirm that over time, as the market matures, the fees will come down. Why not right now? Why not do it today? Why not do it yesterday? Since its conversion into an ETF in early January, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has experienced outflows exceeding 12 billion US dollars. On the 18th of March, according to CoinShares, the GBTC experienced its largest single-day outflow of money. $643 million worth of Bitcoin were sold onto the market because of Grayscale and them not lowering their fees. I would love if either they just lowered their fees to 0.25 and or just gave it to someone else. I know the second one is far less likely, but I feel like they maybe shouldn't be handling this fund if it's only going to continue lowering and or ruining the market for the rest of the world. Is anyone else with me? I see one hand in the audience. So I saw this news and I remain perplexed myself, simply because it's not that difficult. They can do it right now. I put on my tinfoil hat, and all I could really think of was that someone must be telling them, you can't lower your fee. Imagine you're standing in a food market. I don't know why I thought food market. I'm always hungry. And you're trying to sell apples. And the person next to you is also selling apples. They look exactly the same as yours. You see their sign and it says 3 apples, 99 cents. I'm going off of like 90s prices. I know apples are very expensive now. And you go, 3 apples for 99 cents. Well, I'm going to do 3 apples for $14. You look over and all their apples are almost, wow, they're selling so many apples. And you go, is 14 too? No. There's an upcoming bake sale. And a lot of people, the media's there and everyone's eating apple pie and I must be hungry. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, I love these apples. And they look at your apples and they go, 14? Oh my gosh, no. And they walk over to the one next to you and they buy up all the apples. And then at some point, someone from the media, someone from CNBC goes, hey sir, you're also selling apples. You go, yes, I am. We see that your apples are significantly higher and more costly than your neighbor right next to you. Yeah, I love apples. Can you tell us why you're charging more? Well, I mean, I'll happily confirm that over time as the market matures, the fee you'll pay for my apples will come down. Why not just freaking lower it right now? All I can assume is that someone's telling them not to, so that these coins can enter the market, lower the price of Bitcoin from time to time, that they can be scooped up either once again by Grayscale or by BlackRock. I don't know the intricacies of exactly what's happening with all of these very wealthy individuals, but something's up. Something's amiss. Something smells blockchain fishy, because no company under the possession of billions of dollars of anything would be like, let's keep our fees high. Anyway, cool. They announced they're going to be lowering their fees. I give it October, maybe November. That's when they're going to do it. But I don't understand the logic behind any of this. So that's the Grayscale's CEO, Michael Sonnenschein, has said that he is going to eventually lower fees as the market matures. So because the market is in immature, you need to have a higher fee. That sounds correct to me. That's the grayscale news. Let's move on. I'm not sure if we went over this. I wish I could tell you. I don't remember if we went over this or not. The Japanese government's pension investment fund, or the GPIF, it sounds familiar. The largest pension fund in Japan and globally is looking to apparently add Bitcoin to their pension fund. I feel like we went over this, but I don't remember because it popped back up in the news, or it's there. I don't really know. Long and short of it is that basically the Japanese government has announced that they're looking for alternative investments for their pension fund, and they're apparently discussing allocating a large amount of money into Bitcoin. The significance of this is basically that when pension funds invest in something, they're basically thinking long term. This has nothing to do with a 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 year investment. It is like people are going to be retiring in 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. We need to give them something stable that they can actually, rely on for their pension investment fund. And the fact that this is the largest one in the world and they're thinking of adding Bitcoin, that's the significance. I know a lot of times this news doesn't make popular news because people, for some reason, don't pay attention to the idea of retirement. That is a discussion that we are going to literally sit down and have in about maybe 9 months, maybe 10, 11 months, because it's going to be a doozy. So just make sure, as always, you're either investing or investing to retire early or trying to make sure that you have tons of money for retirement. The amount of documentaries, boy howdy, the stuff that I watch, and people have no money saved for retirement. Can't save jack diddly squat, don't have anything, and or spend a lot of their money on things that they want right now but will not need tomorrow. So yeah, hyper significant. I feel like we went over it, just going to breeze over it as a just in case you're not understanding that the Japanese government is talking about buying Bitcoin. Not sure if you heard the significance there. You did? Okay, cool with that. All right. Let's move on. Also in... Oh, sure. Well, why not? Kraken, the crypto exchange, has announced they are going to be unveiling a qualified custody solution tailored for the U.S. market. It says Kraken Financial holds all reserve deposits, which makes it more suitable service provider for Kraken Institutional to offer qualified custody. Without having to read through the entire thing, you might have noticed something weird. I did. Remember when we heard that we were going to be getting Bitcoin ETFs and everyone's applications became public, and we saw that they were required to have a custody provider for the coins? Remember who the custody solution was for every single one of them? Coinbase. And I was like, that's a little weird that we have 4 major crypto exchanges and only one of them has been chosen by all of these companies, but I digress. So it looks like Kraken is also now trying to get into the custody solution space as well. How do I say this? I find it a little weird that these exchanges don't mimic each other a lot more, in that, remember years ago where, for those of you who weren't here, Coinbase used to only have 6 coins on their website. That's not literally, I think it was actually 5 coins. It was actually they had nothing on their website. Binance came about and Binance had 1,000 coins, not a fake number, had 1,000 coins. And then Coinbase was like, oh, snaps. And they followed them. And they also had, 1,000 coins as well, as do all the other exchanges. And then they started having other upgrades on their platforms. And some of the other crypto exchanges just didn't do it. We heard that Binance and Coinbase were trying to spread themselves around the world and open up new offices in Ireland and in Italy and other third place and things like that. And then we weren't hearing from Gemini at all. Long story short is that I just kind of assume as a company, if I'm one of the largest cryptocurrency companies on the planet, largest crypto exchange, wouldn't you just definitely try to make sure that you're also working in like 38 other countries as opposed to just the US? Yes, you would assume that there's like more money to be made. I'm sure there's more paperwork and stuff like that, but you know, you gotta, if this is a global thing, why just choose one place? In that same exact breath, I say, Coinbase has had these institutional custody things since around 2019. For those of you who don't remember, that was when I started disliking Coinbase, because Coinbase and the Gemini twins announced in 2018, 2019 that we, me, you, everyday normal people, that we were basically garbage, because everything that they were going to be developing for their platform was just institutional. They had, what was it? Oh gosh, what was it called? They had the institutional custody solution. They had the institutional Coinbase Pro, and they had multiple things. Every single thing that kept on coming out was just for rich people, and no one else mattered. And that's, so I was like, huh. So since then, Coinbase has had all these like high level grade things, and now Kraken's trying to get into the space as well. I feel like this would have worked a number of years ago. I mean, I'm sure it will work in the future as well, but it's more of I feel like a little bit like too little too late kind of thing. So cool. Kraken is launching Kraken Custody. It's basically normally only for very rich individuals. If you put your stuff onto their crypto exchange, cool, fantastic. But it tends to be for people who are like, hey, I got $45 million worth of crypto. I want to put it somewhere. And then they kind of, hide it in a mountain for you. But cool. That's the Kraken news. We haven't, last point. It's nice to hear that the SEC has finally stopped being completely insane, because the SEC has had, lawsuits against Kraken, Gemini, Binance, and Coinbase. Maybe they've all been resolved because they haven't been back in the news, but fantastic. I think that's going to do it for this video. I'm doing so much better because I make sure not to like rant and stuff or like scream at the microphone anymore because like of all the crazy weird stuff that's going on. Just remember, like, every time you sell your crypto, it's being bought up by BlackRock. They're going to own all the Bitcoin in the world because they already own the planet. And just, in the year 2035, as you sit either on a moon base or in Dubai somewhere, just reminisce on these moments where you're like, oh, of course Bitcoin was going to $7.5 million. Of course that was exactly where it was going to go. And I'm so glad I didn't spend it on pizzas. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See